Okay.
We're live? Hey guys, it is Tuesday evening, September 1st. Here we go. Already into September. So, hope you guys had a great day. We got a couple things that I want to touch on tonight. And we'll let a few people get in here. Just to let you know, I did go fishing today, and I had some challenges, but still had a good time, and I didn't drown, so it could have been worse. Anywho, no fish were caught, but I learned a little bit more. But definitely had some challenges. The wind came up, and it was just not the best of weather out there for me. It was beautiful, warm, but just a lot of wind, and on that lake it gets windy, and when the wind comes up, man, it pushes that kayak all over the place. So it was tough this morning. Anywho, okay, so first things first, we want to give a big shout out. This thing finally arrived. Charlie Wooster. Is that straight up? Oh no, it's not. We keep losing that hand
wind, yeah.
Charlie made this sign for us. Charlie Wooster up in Utah made this beautiful sign for us. So it took a while to get here. I think he sent it a week or two, 10 days ago or something. But it took a while to get here, but it finally did arrive today, and we love it. Showed it to Dad, and Charlie, terrific job, buddy. Thank you so much. We love it. We'll find a prominent place for it. So thank you again. A lot of work. Really put a lot of really neat details in there, buddy.
How did the pool work? Tessa wants to know, how did the pool work?
Oh, the pole?
The new pole?
The new pole? Actually, I was really shocked. That thing worked great. I could cast a long way with it. It was very comfortable. I wasn't convinced that reel would work really well, but it never missed a beat. I cast probably a couple hundred times with it. It worked great. So I actually put a couple different setups on it. So it worked really well. Thank you for asking, Tessa. Appreciate that. All right. So first things first, I got an email from Tim Forsick over in Healdsburg. He said, I'm interested in carving this logo for my son's fire station, but I'm afraid it might have too much detail, especially with my experience.
Tim just came on.
Hey, Tim. Do you have any thoughts or recommendations? So here is the logo that he's talking about. Pretty detailed. Now, I've done some stuff kind of like this in the past, especially with that orchard and the houses and trees and all that kind of stuff. So what I suggested to Tim, number one, is what size is it going to be? You know, how big are you going to make it? Obviously, the smaller the sign, the tougher it's going to be to get all those details. So I didn't know if Tim had a specific size in mind. So, but I said if it's big enough, you know, if you're making it pretty good size, then I don't see why you shouldn't be able to carve all that detail. So that's number one. If you guys are thinking about doing something like that, as long as the image is big enough and the board is big enough, absolutely, you can carve that detail. And the cool thing is, when you're carving small details like that, it's not quite like carving small letters. When you're carving small details, if you're just close to the line and you have an overall image of what the picture is supposed to be, then you don't have to be specifically right on the line all the time, especially if you're making the image big enough. So carving artwork like that, I think is carving, this is going to be much easier.
Babe, I can't.
Okay.
Okay. So yeah,
sorry, I didn't
realize.
Tell me. Carving this stuff here is going to be much easier than carving the letters, because when the letters aren't straight, especially those are kind of a Clarendon, like a Clarendon font there, really. When you're carving those and you don't get them straight, it really shows up. But on the artwork, it doesn't. So,
Emma says hello from God awful California.
hi, Emma.
Tim said it's going to be a 10 by 10.
10 inch by 10 inch?
Hold on. He put it on here. I'm trying to up and down and.
So was that
10 inch by 10 inch?
Oh boy, that's pretty small, Tim. Yeah, you might have to leave some of the, and that's what another thing that I recommended. If it's going to be smaller, there could be some of that stuff you want to leave out because it could chip out on you. I was thinking it was going to be, 18 by 18 or something like that. But it could be that some of those little houses, some of that detail you might want to leave out. And again, nobody's going to know it but you pretty much. So some of those tiny details all depends on how they come out as far as how big they are. So was that Emma, like Gwenny's Emma?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Hi, Emma. So that's that was the other thing. And the other deal is, you're making it as a gift for your son. So it's not like there's pressure of it being a customer sign. So I don't see why you shouldn't attempt it, give it a try, and see what happens. But the bigger you can make it, the better chance you're going to have to not have those little details chip out on you. So anyway, if you guys are thinking about doing something like that, just jump in there and do it. It's just a hunk of wood. If it goes bad, it's more stuff for the fireplace. So that's the way I always kind of looked at it. But I know it's pretty easy to get stressed out when you're doing stuff like that. But I hope you do it, Tim. I really would like to see you attempt that and get it done. All right. Second question. This one is from a brand new sign carver, Roy. And I think he's in Arkansas. And he sent me a picture of a sign that he did, the first sign he's ever done for a customer. I don't know, he might have done one or two more that weren't for a customer. But he tried something different on it, and this is what he came up with. So when I saw it, I had, several different things. But he said his original question is that is there any way to go in there and straighten those lines up, those lines that kind of went wacky on him, kind of went a little bit crooked on some of those. So the problem with doing that on this particular sign is that those letters are already pretty thin. They're pretty narrow. They look like a condensed block letter to me, but they're pretty skinny, so you don't have a lot of room to work with. And if you're a brand new sign carver, I don't know that I would suggest to go in there and try and straighten those lines up. You're probably better off leaving them the way they are, because if you're off just a little bit and it grabs in the wrong spot, then you've really made a mess of it. So I suggested that he didn't. The other thing was that he said that, I wasn't going to hold that back up. He said that the customer didn't really like, I have to hold it back up, I'm sorry. The customer really didn't like his dimple, putting those dots in there. And so he was going to remake it. The customer just didn't like that. He liked the lettering fine, but he didn't like those dimples. So what I suggested, I talked to him on the phone today, what I suggested is take that and see, because he used the 90-degree bit to do those dimples, take and maybe do my regular background, like I've done on, I think, video number 55, just my standard background, kind of like what Charlie did on this sign here, but just my standard background. And you could make a cloud, or you could make straight lines, and those dimples would be totally wiped out. And you could just do a standard background in there, and you might be able to salvage that to where the customer would like it. Now, if I was doing it, I would spray it black and sand it off. I think that would show up that much better. But those dimples there, that's not that much different than the dimple process that I use, except there's a lot of space in between them. But you could do this, my standard background, and I think you might be able to salvage that, and the customer might like it, might accept it then. Worst case scenario, it's a piece of firewood anyway, so why not attempt it rather than having to start over? So that was one thing. The other thing is that I suggested to him, for future use, you might pick a font that has more rounds to it, like a Cooper Black or our Fatty font, or something that has more of a bubble shape to it. Those are much more forgiving for somebody that's brand new. This font has so many straight lines that it really, for somebody that's doesn't have a lot of experience, that you really ought to go with something that's a little bit more fluid and has more of a bubble look to it, because it's very forgiving. If you're not right on the line, then it doesn't really matter. Nobody really knows.
Jason Harrison said, I have firewood to last a year.
I've been there, Jason. I have been there, my friend. So that was the one of the things that I mentioned to him. The other thing I mentioned to him is that looking at it again, if you look at the spacing of the letters, the THE, that's not too bad. The spacing's pretty good. But when you get down here, you got a lot of space there, a tremendous amount. In fact, I told him, you could drive a truck through those spaces in between those letters there and then again here. And I didn't realize that he actually used stencils that he got from Walmart in order to do this. Well, those stencils, in my mind, they come in blocks. They're almost like the that carving system. Oh my gosh, it's the name is escaping me right now. You guys know what I'm talking about. They're the tiles. Anyway, so he was just setting those squares right next to each other, and that's why his spacing looked all wonky like that. So I told him, if you're going to use those, you can still use them, but you need to either trim them up so that they'll nest closer together within the block that it's in, or overlap those. So that
Milcraft.
Milescraft. That's it.
Milescraft.
Yep, that's it. Who mentioned that?
Annette Tucker.
Thank you, Annette. That's exactly right. But if you have something like that, you can modify those squares or those blocks. You can modify those and trim them up so that those letters will nest together or overlap them. So he hadn't even thought about that idea. Oh my gosh.
I can see him flying around your head.
Yeah.
He's on your hat.
Yeah. Sorry, guys. Hey, Mag's over there shaking. I think the flies are getting to him too. But anyway, so if you guys are using those kind of stencils, that's fine. But, pay attention to how far apart the letters are, not the blocks that the letters come in as far as those stencils.
Somebody said something. Hold on.
Yeah, that's pretty much all I...
Oh, Bob Bennett says, your wind chimes are ringing in the background.
Yeah,
creates a nice effect. And that's on the other side of the patio.
Clear down at the other end of the porch. These up here are not...
He's come over here to bug me now.
Good.
Yeah, great. Get away.
Okay, so if you guys have any questions or any comments in regards to those kinds of things, be sure and let me know. Again, guys, if you have questions, if you're starting out or whether you've been carving for a while and you have questions, I love questions. So they're my fuel for this. I get questions all the time, and I pick out questions to ask on right here on camera or answer. Excuse me. Get him, Mag. Oh, he's off on a gallop somewhere. He saw a rabbit or something. All right, sign carvers of the day. Here we go. Roland Knowlton.
I think he's here. I think I saw him.
Is he? Cool.
I love that.
Isn't that cool?
Yes, I love that logo thing.
So he used a profile, the 90 degree, and he used some recycled pine and a rapid resizer for the layout. That is real.
That's a big old fly on there. Holy moly.
Oh, man.
That's a miniature bird.
Jeez. Where's our fly swatters? He's land on Charlie's sign. Get off of Charlie's sign. Anyway, great job, Roland.
Yeah,
I
Roland
love
says,
it.
yes, I'm here.
Great job, man. Beautiful sign. I love it.
Charlie said his question is, how could he have made that better? Charlie, it's awesome.
How could you have made it better?
Inlaid it with gold.
You know what, Charlie? You did a terrific job, buddy. You did great. I think you're, you got all the detail down. The only thing I think that I would have done, and I might do it myself, is I would have put a gloss finish on it. But that's just me.
That's because you like the gloss
I
finish.
like the gloss finish. I think I would have maybe sanded it down and sprayed some gloss on it.
Richard Barclay said, hi, Eric and Vicki. I sent a couple of question emails to you last week. Did you get them? I've been having email issue lately, so not sure if you did.
Richard, I did not. I've been having some email issues as well, but I definitely did not, Richard. Otherwise, I would have answered them. So send them to me again, and if you don't hear from...
If you can't get them through to Eric, send them to me.
Yeah, VickyWithDaveSigns@gmail.com.
Jeff Dale says, got my first big paying order today. Thank you for all the wisdom I think is supposed to be an advice, Eric.
Fantastic, Jeff. Congratulations,
Okay,
buddy.
ahead.
I want to hear more about it. Send me an email and give me some details. All right, Tony.
That's cedar.
Tony Farley, only carving for about 6 weeks. This is Eastern Red Cedar, 1 inch by 11 by 26. He did epoxy resin inlay in the letters and then put poly over the top.
That's beautiful. I
Very
love that
nice.
cedar.
Nicely done. Great
Chad
job,
said
Tony.
he likes the gloss as well. Keith Saleh says, I got the rapid resizer now and purchased the middle package, and I really like it. Thank you guys for suggesting it.
That's the one that we use, Keith. We use that thing all the time, and I think it's well worth it. It really is a good value. Melinda Spalding, her very first outset letters.
I like your t-shirt.
Yeah, very nicely done, Melinda. Great job. Melinda and Bob, I think.
Robert and Melinda, yeah.
Yeah, I think it's Bob, Robert, and Melinda. Great job, Melinda. Love it. I think the wind's coming up. And this is from Eric from Bell Rock Designs. He builds and sells epoxy slabs and tables. And I've seen some of his stuff. It's really nice. Go check out Bell Rock Designs. I think he's got a Facebook page. But now he's added routed signs to them, and he's starting to route on some of his tables and stuff. Kind of added that. So, beautiful job. Great job, Eric.
Oh, yep, Robert or Bob.
Bob Spalding, right? Yeah. And there's Jeff Dale, right there.
Yeah.
Look at that. Very first sign.
Wow.
Wow. Amazing. That's a lot of straight lines. And, that round line around there. Jeff, you got a knack for this, dude. That really looks nice. I'm not surprised you sold a big job. Definitely looking forward to seeing that.
Okay, so we've got, hold on, let me set this. Kyle Binghamson, I sent pictures of my stuff. I want to make sure I had the right email also, though.
Gosh, might send them to me again, Kyle, just in case. Or
And
send
your
them.
email is?
My email is eric@makeawoodsign.com.
All right, Annette Tucker says, I have a question. Used mark ink for the first time to outline my template. The router catches going over the ink.
Okay, used.
She used the March ink for her outline on her template,
Yes.
and the router catches over the ink.
Okay. Gosh, you must have sprayed that pretty heavy, Annette. So if you go back and look, every time I do layout with my with the ink or the primer, and I'm spraying my layout, and I think that's what you're talking about. I always kind of just brush it with my brush just to get all the excess black off of there. I can't imagine it's catching on the router base. There's something I'm missing there. I'm not quite understanding everything there.
Chad, yes. Send me a picture of what you're looking for, and I will see what I can do. Annette said I wondered if I used too much.
Yeah, I think you might have sprayed it too heavy.
Frank says, is $11 board foot for 2x6 thick Western red cedar and $11 a board foot.
Wow.
And $12, gosh darn it, a board foot for 1.5 by 6 for redwood, kind of high. I'm thinking it is.
Yeah, that sounds pretty pricey, Frank. Yeah, that sounds like clear heart. When I buy redwood or we don't have cedar decking out here. We have redwood, and that's really what it's made for. It's a construction decking. It's got knots and some imperfections. That's what I use for my big signs that I laminate together. Either 2x6 or 2x4s. I don't go any wider than that. But I have to kind of pick and choose. But I think like a 2x6, like 10 foot, 8 or 10 foot long is like, I want to say it's like $13 or $14.
Tessa, I think it's time to start using your fingers to type instead of talking into your phone. She talks and texts and it doesn't get the words right.
It doesn't, yeah. But yeah, that sounds pretty pricey, Frank. It does. $11 a board foot, man. That's up there. That is up there. Okay, nothing else I need to answer. Okay, so again, we've been having some email issues. So if you've written me an email and you don't hear from me within 24 to 48 hours, something happened. It got lost in the universe somewhere. So send it again, or try to send it to VickyWithDaveSigns@gmail, and she'll forward it over to me.
Tessa said I was using my fingers. Okay, maybe you need to go back to talking text.
So anyway, just keep sending me emails, guys. Keep sending me. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to change the policy. The policy has been that only one picture per month per person, but my stack is getting pretty thin, so let's make it 2 weeks. So one picture per person per month, or per every 2 weeks. So if you guys haven't sent me one in a couple weeks and you've got some sign carvers of the day, send them over to me, because I don't want to run out.
Charlie told Tessa, happens to me all the time. Don't let them mess with you. I mess with her all the time, every day.
So, also, we are taking a list based on yesterday. We're doing our Zoom interviews, and we're going to probably post, I think, until further notice, probably post those on Fridays. So this coming Friday, hopefully our first one will post. Next Friday, we'll post the one from Matt Bay, and we've started taking a list. Several people have said that they wanted to do that. So if you guys are interested in doing a one-on-one, or if there's two of you, husband and wife, or partners, whatever. If there's two of you, Vicky and I would love to do a Zoom with you and let you kind of tell your story and talk about whatever you want to talk about. I want to give you guys the opportunity to have a platform to get yourself on camera, and we'd love it. So I think it's good that that the community can kind of learn more about all of us. You guys know just about everything there is to know about me and Vicky and Dad, but we'd love to hear your stories and put them on video for you. So if you guys want to be part of that Zoom deal, I'm making a list and we'll take them in order. Just send me an email, eric@makeawwoodsign.com, or send it to vicky with davesigns@gmail.com, and we will put you on the list, and we'll do it.
Richard Barclay says, have you used the credit card size diamond sharpener to sharpen your bits?
You know what? I've got one of those, and I have used those. It's okay, but here's the danger with those, is that especially the profile bit and some of the smaller bits, the carving liner, of course, you have to, those credit card sharpeners are really made for a flat surface. So you have to sharpen the inside part of that router bit. So your cutter edge is here, that's the outside of the bit, and the flat is here. And some of those bits are so tiny that the credit card may not go in there. If you can make it fit, that's great. But the downside is, if you're not familiar with how to do it, you can roll over that edge really easily and not necessarily ruin the cutter, because I've fixed lots of router bits that people have, jacked up by trying to sharpen them. But if you're not used to it, but yes, they can work, and they can give you somewhat of a new edge on there. It's not quite like using a diamond wheel and a grinder, but they can give you lengthen the time that those bits will need to be sharpened in between. So anyway, yeah, give it a shot. All right, guys, that's it. We're going to get out of here and let you guys carry on with your evening. We'll be doing this again tomorrow night. So keep sending me those questions. Keep sending me the sign carvers of the day. And again, 2-week intervals will be fine, so we can build that stack up and keep them going. So everybody have a great night. If you haven't subscribed yet and you're seeing this on YouTube, we'd love for you to subscribe, because we post videos every day, and click that little bell icon so you get notified when we do new videos. And we would love it if you guys on Facebook could give us a thumbs up, share the video, and spread the word for us. We'd love it. So thanks again, guys. We love you. We'll see you tomorrow night.
Bye.
Bye.